In 1966, Martin Luther King moved his family into an apartment in the West Side ghetto of Chicago. He had become increasingly more focused on economic injustice, and in 1967, he took the initiative to start the Poor People's Campaign.
The impetus behind the Poor People's Campaign was to bring to the attention of our government that there had to be a responsibility for the condition of all people, and that poor people didn't have to be poor when we had so much wealth in this country.
It means that the civil rights movement will have to place a great deal of emphasis on grappling with this economic problem. We must identify absolutely with the program to get rid of poverty, and we are going all out to deal with this problem of employment discrimination and to try to build a climate in the nation through political action so that there will be fair employment as well as full employment for all people.
Dr. King was the most visible spokesperson and leader in the civil rights movement, a situation resulting in controversial exposure and alarming threats.
We live every day under a great deal of tension and under the threat of death because there are still those individuals who desperately oppose us and what we're trying to do, and there's still the lunatic fringe and the extreme rightists who will do almost anything to block our advance.
On April 3rd, 1968, Martin Luther King attended a march in Memphis, where he later that afternoon delivered a speech now known as, "I've Been to the Mountaintop."
We've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you.
The following day, on April 4th, Martin Luther King was shot standing on his hotel balcony. He was pronounced dead within an hour.
All I can say is that it just changed the course of human history.
We had our funeral to deal with. There were some who wanted to put a royal coach, and the staff would wear top hats and split-tail coats. And that debate didn't last long. We decided no. Martin Luther King's last campaign was the Poor People's Campaign, and that's what we should focus on, that campaign.
For me, the legacy of Martin Luther King is that he symbolizes the continuing effort to achieve a more just and more humane nation.
I believe that the legacy of Dr. King is show real love and concern for each other.
Actually, when he was killed, it was, I don't think there was anybody who didn't anticipate that. He was a shepherd for my people, I would say, who dared take on that role, knowing what it could lead to. And still he stayed on.